Today, we're visiting what was once the tallest and most impressive bridge on the Impossible Railroad. Hey everyone, welcome to Sidetrack Adventures. This is Steve. Today, we're back on Highway 94 right outside of Campo, California. And we're going to be visiting a railroad bridge that's over 100 years old, that when it was built was the tallest and most impressive bridge on the San Diego, Arizona Railroad, otherwise known as the Impossible Railroad, until it was later outdone by the much more famous Goat Canyon Trestle. Though this one's a lot easier to get to, it's right on the highway, though it's on a little traveled section of the highway, so not a lot of people get to see it. And I'm not talking about the bridge that's behind me. That bridge was built in 1915, but it's not that impressive. But anyways, let's jump on the road and go visit the Campo Creek Viaduct. Before we head out, let's take a quick look at this bridge. I know it's not the most exciting bridge ever, but this area does play an important part in the story of the Impossible Railroad. I know it's a little hard to see here, I'll try to get a closer look, but there are two plaques on the side of the bridge. One says 1915 for the year the bridge was built, and the other is for the manufacturer, Llewellyn Metal Works of Los Angeles. 1915 stamped in the cement as well. I'll get more into the railroad's history in just a bit, but down this way is where the railroad crosses into Mexico to get around the mountains of San Diego's East County. There were so many obstacles to this railroad getting built at all, and one of the solutions was to route part of it through Mexico, which ended up coming with its own set of problems later. But to show how close we are to the border with Mexico right now, if we look this way, the border wall is on the hill right in front of us. And here's looking back over the bridge. And Highway 94 right below us, which we need to start heading east on. As we head to the other side of Campo and our final destination, I'll try to give a brief rundown of the San Diego and Arizona Railway, otherwise known as the Impossible Railroad. In the late 1800s, a man named John D. Spreckels was by far the richest person in San Diego. He was so rich, in fact, that he accounted for 10% of the tax revenue collected in the county. Spreckels didn't like the fact that even though San Diego had the far better natural harbor, all the lucrative railroad and road connections went to Los Angeles because of the hard-to-cross Laguna Mountains east of San Diego. When the Imperial Valley became a major farm area in the early 1900s, Spreckels saw the commercial opportunities of linking San Diego to the area by rail. Of course, there was a reason it hadn't been done before, and building the railroad ended up being quite the challenge. Spreckels was granted the rights to build the railroad in 1906, but the first train wouldn't roll into San Diego until 1919. During the construction, the crews had to deal with extreme heat and cold in the deserts, monsoons, trying to build tunnels through unstable rock, which ended up causing a lot more problems once the line was completed. The crews were attacked by revolutionaries in Mexico, World War I broke out, and the Spanish flu pandemic decimated the crews. But against all the odds, the railroad was completed, and Spreckels drove the Golden Spike himself, calling it the happiest day of his life. The hardest part of the railroad to build was the section through Carrizo Gorge, which is where you'll find what is probably the best known feature of the railway today, the Goat Canyon Trestle. That wasn't built until 1932 though, when one of the original tunnels in Carrizo Gorge collapsed. Prior to the Goat Canyon Trestle's construction, where we're heading right now was by far the most impressive structure on the railroad, and still looks absolutely amazing today. And in fact, we are now getting our first glimpse of it. There it is behind me, the Campo Creek Viaduct, at almost 200 feet above the highway below it. But let's get a closer look at it. The railway crosses Highway 94 several times as it winds through the mountains, but every other time was at, or in the case of the bridge where we started, slightly above the level of the highway. Here, they needed to cross high above this canyon. And I mentioned Highway 94. When this was built, there was no Highway 94, just a dirt road going through here. Construction began on this bridge in 1917, and it was completed a year later. The railway was able to get special permission to continue construction during World War I, when most other projects of its type were shut down. The San Diego area at the time, like now, had a large military presence, and linking to the area by rail was felt to be important to the war effort. When this was built, it had to be able to withstand a variety of conditions. The summers out here can be extremely hot, and there can be freezing temperatures in the winter. Not to mention the high winds that come through here, that are currently blowing my drone all over the place. They apparently did a good job though, since this is still standing today. Now I'm not sure when the last time a train actually went across the Campo Creek Viaduct. I know it was still in use in the early 2000s, but I think it's probably been at least 10 years now. You can see how much this bridge just towers over the road below. I bet the train passengers had a fantastic view from up there. The actual Campo Creek is right down here. It's just a small stream right now. Now that we've taken a look around from down here, I kind of want to get to the top and take a look around. I was thinking about just climbing this hill, but taking a look at the map, it looks like there's a dirt road that kind of goes up near there. So we'll try that first, and if that doesn't work, I guess we'll come right back here and climb. We are now on the Campo Indian Reservation, otherwise known as the Campo Kumeyaay Nation. So what look like roads on Google Maps so far have not been what most people would call roads. Maybe usable by dirt bikes or ATVs, but I'm not chancing getting stuck out here. Just because something looks like a road on Google Maps doesn't mean it's a road. So a short drive down a dirt road became a long drive down dirt roads through the reservation, but we've made it to the train tracks. Unfortunately, we've made it to the train tracks about 1.5 miles from the bridge, so we still need to find a way to get up there. We could probably just walk down the tracks here, but there really isn't a great place to park. Plus, we've already had one reservation dog chase the car. I'm not sure I want to run into another on foot. So we're back where we started, and it looks like we're gonna climb. I thought maybe we could just scramble up the rocks on this side, but taking a closer look, this doesn't seem like the best way. I don't really think I want to bushwhack through the creek area down here. I guess we'll have to find a way up on the other side of the road. We found a trail and I see the bridge, so hopefully this gets us to it. While we were standing on the side of the highway looking for a way to get up, someone who watches these videos stopped to say hi. So if you're watching this right now, hey, it was nice to meet you. I can't imagine why there'd be a trail heading up the side of this mountain, aside from getting to the bridge. But we actually seem to be going away from the bridge right now, so I'm not 100% sure. But we've made it this far, might as well keep going. Alright, so we've turned back towards the bridge now, and seem to be going in the right direction. And there it is. This is actually a pretty good viewpoint. When you see old pictures of the bridge, this area sure hasn't changed at all. We're getting close now. Based on the droppings along the way, this trail is probably used as much by animals as it is by humans. We finally made it. It was maybe a quarter-mile hike to get here. Fairly steep at times, but not too bad. But let's get up here and take a look around. Train passengers sure would have had some amazing views as they crossed this section of the railway. On a clear day like today, you can just see for miles in every direction. I was thinking about walking across the bridge, but after getting up here, I'm going to go ahead and pass on that. I'm sure it's safe, but this wood is crunching under my foot. Here's a survey marker. It looks like this was placed here in 1927. While I'm up here, let's try to take a look underneath the bridge. Hopefully I don't slide down this hill. Oh, this is pretty cool. There's a couple of plaques. There's one that says 1917, and this one over in the corner says American Bridge Company 1917. I'll try to zoom in on those. It is extremely windy up here, which is another good reason not to walk out across the bridge. And it looks like there's a catwalk in the middle. I'm not sure how much I trust the wood there, but it looks like it goes all the way across. Looking back at the bridge from underneath, and there's Highway 94 down below us. On the other side of the canyon next to the tracks, you could see what's left of the old telephone line coming down the mountain. I don't know if it was necessary for us to climb up here, but at least this view made it worthwhile. So that's our look at the Campo Creek Viaduct. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and we'll see you next week.